Hey, Sanima, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, good, thank you. Run me through it. Where are you at the moment? What's the change you made business wise? Where you at? And I'll run you through if there's anything like any ideas, anything we've seen work well. Just wanna, I guess, make this as useful as possible for you. So just want to see like where you're at, what's working, what's not working. I'll run you through some ideas that hopefully mistakes we've made and stuff that you can kind of fast track things a bit more.
Before that, can I understand how does your business operate? So I know which language to talk in. I mean, I'd just say it would be easy. So just let me know if I am not clear enough. So I started off as business coach for life coaches. Uh, I mean, even if I have to go even before that, I was a social media manager and virtual assistant in the start of the journey. So that's when I transitioned from a virtual assistant social media into business coach for life coaches. And then I realized a couple of external things, couple of internal things that life coaches were not getting result as I was expecting a lot of times, and they had huge resistance in doing things themselves, blah blah blah. And I just make the story shorter. So and now I am in the phase of trying to transition into doing done for you service in terms of the launch for coaches, life coaches.
Okay. Um, yeah, interesting. So it's similar, but we've done more like I guess the work we do is more fitness in the fitness space. So done
Like,
for you,
same principle applies everywhere, right?
yeah, it'll probably be like a similar breakdown. So what what was it that you didn't think what was the issue in terms of results before? So why were people not getting results? Was it just they weren't doing the work, or was it something else that was the issue?
There were a couple of issues that I found out. First one is uh, the people that I was working with, they were all beginners. So they were all almost like they just certified. They had zero audience of their own. They had zero experience coaching as well. And it just felt like the first few months, not even I would say 3 or 4 months would go on figuring out so many things from their end and in terms of gathering the audience that it took too long for them to see real results. And that is why I think I thought I would, if I do things for them in terms of content and launch, that is, do the done for you content and launch, and not be the overall business coach that I was being, because that was very stressful. Because teaching about sales, leads, finding niche, target audience, building everything from zero was very, when they had nothing at all was, uh, I will not do that again, but it was very tough. So I thought, I'll just pick one thing and maybe become better at that and stick with that.
Yeah, okay, amazing. So now rather than trying to kind of do everything, it's just more launches. So like a life coach would be you'd go in and you'd be like, I'll write the content, I'll write the captions for the launch. Is that right?
Uh, uh, Somehow. So let's say webinars or master classes, right? They need very, what I want to do is, because that is the most profitable thing in the cycle of the overall cycle. So I thought I would help coaches in terms of webinars or 3 days challenges that they want to do, right from getting the traffic, writing the content around, planning things, everything. But instead of being the all-in-one who teaches sales and everything, just get them leads, or let's say traffic till their events. That is what I was planning on.
Okay, I see. So leads, get them leads. How you'd get leads by what would you do to get them leads?
Messaging. Let's call it as outreach.
Okay,
Or
like in you'd be in an account sending messages,
yes,
etc.
that's the plan so far.
Okay,
So instead of it being throughout, it's just going to be for that phase of launch, right? I'm not
Okay.
going to do the messaging for the entire, just for the launch portion. So messaging, if needed, running the ads, the content, and that too just for the portion when I would be helping them with the launch.
Okay, I see. Um, Amazing. And then in terms of like, how has that changed in terms of your offer? Like, how was you packaging it before? Like, what was the time of the program before when you're business coaching, and what was the price, and how has it changed now? What's the difference? Because it's a lot
So
of work. Like you're doing setting, you're doing running ads and stuff like that. So it's a lot of value in there for sure.
I was doing at $3,000 for 6 months.
Okay.
So it was only teaching and meeting once a week. It was okay with me, but now I think doing the done for you would be needing much more than that to justify things. So if I start, which I've not, but I am thinking around 1,000 for a couple of clients, let's say two or three per month, and then going for 2,000 after the fourth client probably.
Okay. That 1,000 a month, you mean?
Yes, thousand
Okay.
dollars a month.
And then would you just package it as a monthly rolling, or would it still be like 6 months would be what, 6,000?
Uh, no, that would be like the launch would
Okay.
be per month, right? So it would be 1 month, and then I'm thinking of making the regular content as the LTV, MRR thing.
Okay, amazing. So that's a really like well kind of like I think the price point and stuff's a really in a good position. It's quite exciting. Um, what was the conversion rate before? Like where were you getting your leads for the £3,000 $3,000 offer for 6 months? Where were you
It
getting
was
leads? Yeah,
launches.
where were you getting leads, and what was the close rates for that offer?
I used to do lots of challenges and master classes, and that's where I feel, that's why I niche down to that particular thing because I think that's that's what has worked a lot for me, challenges. So I think if I get 200 people to register on an average, I would be able to convert around 10 people, let's say.
Oh, amazing. And now would you still do it the same way, get people into a challenge?
Um, I'm not sure if that would work for done for you or not. So that's what I'm not because I've not done this before. I've done the getting people for the trainings, but I've not sold done for you. And I'm not sure if challenges is the best way for myself. But I
Yeah,
know it works for coaches.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, there's a few things. So like I and you haven't done anything like messaging and setting before.
No,
Like
I
you haven't offered
absolutely
that.
dislike that.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think that's a good idea, but I think the only thing I would say, like, um, and this is where it's a bit tricky from a done for you, only because I've kind of been burnt through that for the last few years in terms of trying to like figure it out. The thing I find worked really well for done for you is almost like the bigger clients do really well with done for you, to be honest. And then people that are like complete beginners, typically I find done for you is a bit tricky just because they still need to be skilled to some extent.
Like
Um,
I've
yeah,
decided not to touch beginners at all.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So like beginners, I think done for you isn't like it wouldn't work. Like, um, and then how would you get people in for like what kind of people you like? What kind of revenue of people, life coaches are you targeting for that new offer?
Um, I'm thinking of 10K per month is the average because in that way, why I'm assuming 10K is they would have a validated offer, right?
Yeah,
And the my success rate would be on how much conversion would they do on the challenges or masterclass. So if they have a validated offer, even if I get them the same rate that I have, even if I get them 200 participants, even if they will be able to close 10, maybe let's say at a rate of 3,000, it's a good rate, right? 30,000 per launch is a good number
yeah,
for them without doing much. But For that, they need to have a validated offer, some good audience in terms of anything followers or email list or previous clients or offline network. Something needs to be there. So those two things is what I am thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what I found before was I definitely agree that like 10K USD, 10 to 20, I think is quite good. 10 to 20, 25 per month is quite good. Just from what I found before doing done for you, and then bigger that gets, like the bigger the business, what I find is like the more you speak to someone doing 25K GBP, so like pounds, I don't know, like 30K dollars above, what I find the conversation then becomes like too much about they just need specific roles filled more, I find. And then they'll be like, oh, like that's great you're offering a package. And this is like before, it was like, it's great you're offering a video editor, DM setter, and someone to do my copy, but I will find someone to do it for cheaper to do the full-time role. So that's where I find like the bigger the business gets, the harder it is sometimes, in my opinion, to get them to do like everything for them, because they're like, oh, like I want to scale this and I've got a quite a good level already. Um, Potentially, I would personally, I'd probably just dial that. Like, and not get distracted with other things. But you could also look at like if you ever get leads like that, like quite bigger businesses, you could maybe do like see what they need help with. If it's running ads, to be fair, you could probably do that really well. If it's outreach and setters, maybe just recruiting and a recruitment offer potentially. But again, I wouldn't put like bandwidth into it because it's probably quite a bit of a distraction. If that makes sense. Um, and then how, like, are you getting call? What's the calls you're booking like like, are you getting calls from Instagram? Or are you getting like people in sales calls? Like, how do you structure that? Like life coaches, like into calls. How are you planning on getting new people into that offer now?
Uh, how am I planning to get
Yeah,
new?
to get sales calls and leads for that offer.
That's a good question. Uh, so I think that's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah,
So I know how I could get them for business coaching, but since this is something I've not done, I'm still stuck at that phase. I am the end goal would be the call, but the phase before the call is uh, where I think. And the problem is my current audience, it's full of new coaches. So I don't think I have that leverage. I have around 6,000, 5,000 plus followers on Facebook. I do have some good email list, but I think all of them and around only 1,500 on Instagram, right? But the entire thing, it's all full of new coaches, beginners, and I just, I don't think I have anybody in my, uh, what I need actually.
yeah. Okay. Um, what are you thinking? What ideas do you have in terms of lead flow for that at the moment? I would say like IG, like Facebook ads for an opt-in could be a shout, could work really well.
Uh, I mean, I think we need to have multiple lead sources. So what I'm trying to do right now is have long form content in the sense of slightly very longer than just social media, aka YouTube content as well. So it nurtures better. I'm planning for a couple of lead magnets to run ads on, but uh, you got me thinking that, as you said, the established coaches would probably have team of setters, content creators, and everything in place. I don't know where exactly would I fit in. Uh,
Yeah, let
and
me
even if I do any sorts of reaching out, it's probably the setter that's going to reply.
it depends, right? So I think it depends on what you're selling. So like I think, and this is where it's interesting, I think it depends on the offer. I'm just gonna whiteboard a couple ideas really quickly. I think the people that would work well for this would genuinely like if you can find people doing like I would like say 10 to 25K USD per month. like a life coach for that, I think would be good to try and find and target those. And then moving forward, these kind of people you can outreach. To be fair, some of these might not even have a VA or setter. But I would also say potentially what would be handy is I wonder whether the setting might potentially cause you more confusion for you to deliver on it, if that makes sense, only because then uh like what I think might happen sometimes is you'd have like a lot of moving parts to deliver for different people. You'd have like setting, like DM setting to handle, and then like you'd have here's a few things you'd have DM setting, you'd have Facebook ads for like just one coach, and you'd have copy and content um to write potentially, and you might have other moving parts for it as well, which is good to have. I'm just wondering whether, because there's a lot of different moving parts, it might be hard to get everything you need from them right away to get it working, if you know what I mean. So like, because they're like, you probably need them to do certain things and certain tasks to get this working really well. You might potentially, another way you could even do is maybe like potentially structuring. So first we do this like a pillar process. So the first step, whatever's the most important, we first dial in your content or your lead flow. Once we dial that in, or once we write it out and we draft it, we then start running ads to it. Once we do this, we then get a setter to do the messaging. So if it makes it a bit simpler, potentially if you get people to actually, if you get too, when you get too busy, it would be a lot easier to give people step-by-step stuff to do. And then the DM setting, you probably want to outsource, I would imagine, the quickest, because it'd be the most time intensive, and you'd probably get paid more doing the content than you'd get paid for doing this, because you could outsource that for like $10, $10 to $15 at the highest, I would say, for a very good setter. That's just kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking if this was more like the deliverable of the program, if it's almost like here's how I think could be a shout. So if it was like when you deliver on it, essentially it could be like when people sign up, you go step one, you could just send them a Loom video on email. Just at the very beginning, you go, here's exactly what we do. First, we do this. Step two, we do this. Step three, we do this. And you might even have, here's another thing you can do is maybe have, if this is how you do it, potentially like just maybe break it down in terms of the process. And then potentially what you could also do is just like actually map out what you would need from them at different stages is what I think could be really cool. So if you need them to send you whatever you need them to send you for you to do the copy, just make it like very, very clear that you actually need that information from them, because it would make your fulfillment job a lot easier, because then it's like, you actually need to do this if you want to get results. Whereas if it's like super, if it's like you don't do anything and will get you results, and people can just disappear and they can not send you information. So if you just manage it from the beginning, I think if you go like, it is done for you, but you just need to give us the information. You need to give it by this date, or you need to give it within the first you give us first you fill out a type form here. Second, you share the insights, or you approve the ads or the copy, or whatever, or you book a call, and you just refine it. Does that would that would that be in line? Or I'm just brainstorming a couple of things here. I'm just seeing if that's useful. What do you think?
Just I'm thinking it does make a lot of sense.
Um, and then maybe the only thing I'd say is, to be fair, this could all be automated as well. So you could have this as like, all of this could probably be a type form. So like what you could almost do, my opinion is each step could be like a type form initially plus a call, um, plus a call potentially. So like they book a call and then you jump on a call to orders here. or you send them a Loom video with some feedback. I know you want to have it completely done without them doing anything. But if you at least get some information from them at different stages in terms of what they've been doing that's been working well, etc., I think could make it a bit easier for you to actually deliver on it. And also, to be honest, like the only other thing I would say is because you like it's a weird one, but because you also have at least a little bit of input from them, it's so much easier to deliver on it, and they can't just say it's an email like I've paid you this money and nothing's working, and it's quite hard to do it. Whereas if it's laid out, like hold on, did you do what I asked you to do when I asked you to do it? And a lot of the time you'd be surprised the answer comes back down to the client potentially not doing it because it wasn't clear enough, is what I would say.
If it was you, what kind of low ticket offer would you do to get started with this entire thing?
Like a low
Like,
ticket, how do you mean?
you know, if they don't want to get into the $1,000 directly per month,
Yeah.
which you've planned, do you think we could insert a low ticket in between, one
Yeah.
time done,
Yeah.
something?
So you could like the simplest way you could even do it is maybe here's a very lazy way you can do it. You can have like this, in my opinion, a low ticket offer could be like, and this could work for both, right? So the one of them is done for you, one's done with you. Oh, so one's done for you, done's that's just they do it yourself, right? Um, you could get this into a Kajabi or a school course. So like, and this is where I think it could be really powerful. So like if like these steps, if you just map, and this is what I think would actually be really powerful, is like if you just map out what the dream outcome for this person is. So they want to do a launch or they're at 10K per month, they want to get to 25K a month. And then just say what are the steps needed from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. And then the low ticket offer would just be the course material for this. And then the done for you would be you doing this for them kind of thing and actually reviewing it and approving it. So you could technically have this, they could both be the same thing. It's just this one, they just get access to the resources. This one, you actually write it out for them and you actually review and refine it with them. Could be a way to do it. So it doesn't, it just means you have one journey, one thing, one kind of core offer and one core roadmap, but like one core kind of offer, but it's just one of them is just they can just pay for the videos and they can just pay for the material. And then
I'm just
this is
curious.
done, you do it yourself. This one, like it's the same material, but I actually do it with you.
The only thing I'm doubting here is if I'm targeting people to save their time,
Yeah,
the
this might not be
done
needed. Yeah,
done with you might not be tempting to them at all. Uh,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so like if it's high end people probably wouldn't need the do it
uh,
yourself thing. Um, so
same thing.
what are you giving these people? So they where are you taking these people? Like what's the goal that you're helping them achieve?
Um, if I think if we put in numbers, I think I would say tripling their current launch results if they have done launches previously. So I think I kind of got a lot of ideas. If I probably take some time and figure it out.
Okay,
Mm.
and that's amazing. So like launch wise, triple their launch. Would they be doing 10K a month all from launches or do you know like how would you frame this? Like if there was a number behind it, would you say you triple their launch, but were they doing 10K from launches or are they doing some recurring? What how do you know?
So if they're currently making 10K without the launches, let's say just from their content or from their regular ads, launches would just convert all the qualified warm leads, taking warm leads into converted leads, right? So I would just make use of all the people who were on the fence of being converted, but were not being converted because they were not getting that push. So if they're making 10K, it would be 30, right? Because there would just be leads all around who've not
Yeah.
taken this step. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Would it be, do you think it'd be, I'm just thinking, would it be easier if potentially your offer here is like, here's what I'm thinking, would it be easier if you say, like when you get people on a sales call in the DMs, your 6-month program, for example, by installing launches is like the guarantee is like you're gonna have a guarantee there when you speak to people in DMs or on calls. The guarantee could be like you double your investment, for example. You might not necessarily need, you could even potentially say like helping coaches like maybe get to 25K a month by using my unique mechanism, which is launches, because I don't think many people would do that. For example, so like helping coaches, like helping life coaches hit, I don't know, revenue or hit goal. To be fair, I think their revenue number would probably, or like a revenue number or profit probably be the biggest, would you call it? It would be like one of the biggest like things they want to achieve, to be honest. Helping coaches, life coaches hit this revenue goal without, without working more hours by simply introducing a done for you launch mechanism or something. And then the content, I guess, for that could be you just introduce, like you talking about like they're doing all this hard work, but they're not doing launches to convert people. Could be the actual content itself.
What you're suggesting is instead of me completely taking out my current, the 6 months program, adding the done for you as one more thing, or just scratch that off and do this.
I think what do you think? I think if this is more like the offer, like for example, I'm just thinking from actually like delivering on it, this might be a bit easier. The only thing I wonder with the way you had it before is only because like the only thing with launches is if they're doing 10K a month, would they to some extent be quite good at following up with people? Do you think? Like I know they might be running ads, but would they have a setter maybe already following up with leads? So like the follow-up might not be that good, but would it work within the first month? Would you always like be able to guarantee within the first month that they pay 1,000 that they would make money? If if the setter is following up to one to if they're following up in conversations or sales calls anyway, if that makes sense.
I think I really resonated with the first three steps that you created in a different way, in the sense
Yeah.
that those are in 10K. They might have been acing one of the three, right? So maybe they might have amazing content because of which they're at 10K, or they might have good ads in place, or they might have the setup, right? So maybe what I could do in the initial call is find out which one is the one that we could potentially do the done for you in, and start off with that, and then do the rest of the things for the.
Yeah. I think that could be a shout. Um, I would definitely say that. I would definitely say if you almost map it out in terms of like, okay, roughly speaking, this coach here is at 10K. He's probably like maybe has a setter or maybe he's posting quite good content, but here's what I would do to take him to 25K a month. For example, he's at 8K, 8 to 10K a month. Here's what we do to take him to this part. First, we would get this. First, we'd write the content and the copy. Then we would do this. Then we would do that. In my opinion, I think even like I've tried so many different done for you stuff over the years, and I think it done like with you for this style of a coach is it can work really well. And like obviously the done with you could be you could do a lot of that and just make it as simple as possible for them to do. But I wonder whether done with you, they're doing 10K a month. You'd take them to 25K a month. You'd write a copy. All they need to do is review it. They're still saving a lot of time, but it's also much quicker. Like rather than it's also a big like they will also really want to achieve that goal. They want to get to 10K from 10K to 25K. So there's a huge incentive. I think there's more of a benefit, more of a motivation for them to get there than there is for them to save time. Because business owners, I think anyway, are quite like motivated and driven, a lot of them. So they probably just want to earn more money and like help more clients kind of thing. Especially if they've got onto 8 to 10K already, all that like by themselves.
How long have you been doing this, the business coaching aspect?
So a few different things. So like I've done fitness coaching before, like 6 years or so, like different businesses, set an agency, like done very much done for you and stuff like that. And it's been like business coaching for the last 12 months.
So you used to do that for you?
For setters, yeah, for DM setters.
So you do have experience on how done for you says?
Yeah, for like done for you for setters for like literally it's really interesting because this is the exact position I was in a few years ago and it's really stubborn with it. In my opinion, just from trying really hard to make done for you work for these type of people, I just don't think it's like long term. I think that done for you works amazing for like huge businesses where you just jump in and you just do their sales or you just do their marketing or your lead or their lead gen like I don't know 50 to 100K plus per month revenue. I think those work really well is what I've seen from other business owners. I think people slightly earlier on in this stage, so 5 to 10K a month, five even up to 15, I think you still need an element of like telling them, here's what you need to do. Here's the videos you need to watch. Here's the stuff you need to do. Here's what we'll do. I think if you make that super clear, the problem you will then not have is you wouldn't have people say, I've paid you, but I didn't triple my launch. And they didn't triple their launch because of something they didn't do. You would save yourself from having these conversations, if that makes sense, because it's a lot of managing expectations. If you do it at the start, it'd be a lot easier. Because you might have like a 10K a month coach might do 10K a month in a good month, for example, or they might have a slower month and then you jump in and it's like, and they still do 10K a month and it's quite hard to measure it. But if you manage the expectations, I think better at the beginning and you do it like an element of here's what you do, here's what our team will do, it'd be a lot easier. I also think as much as possible, if it's one it's like step by step for everyone, the better as well, because like then you just haven't got the other problem you would not have is it's so funny because I can see it because I've done it like before. The only other problem you not have is you wouldn't have like this one coach is a life coach that needs this done in this order. The next one is a career coach that needs first he needs this, then he needs this, then he needs graphic design. Ideally, if you can just have like one step by step for everyone, it'll be way easier for you to deliver. Because what you'd end up doing, in my opinion, because I've made this mistake, is you'd get to like 10K a month, 15K a month, and you'd be like, okay, everyone needs everything different. And it's so hard to scale that. If that makes sense, it's such an interesting conversation because like basically like a lot of the problems we've gone through over the years in terms of fixing. But I would genuinely say like if this is mapped out, like here's the one key pillar, here's the unique mechanism, and just still give them like education and some element of like what they need to do. Here's what we'll do for you. We'll write a copy, or we'll do your launches, or you can even do it where like they write the initial copy and you review it and refine it and perfect it. Because yeah, it's not as appealing, but they're doing 10K a month. It'd be way like they'd be motivated to get to 25K a month. I feel it'd just be a lot easier for you to deliver, much with less work. If that makes sense for you.
It's just that, I'm still not confused, but it was way easier to gather the people who were starting out
Yeah.
because it's easier. But then I'll just have to figure out how do I gather people for above 5K, let's say. Around on an average, we're making 5K per month at the moment.
Do you have where would these people be, by the way? So like the organic, like what I found helpful with finding people like this is like almost trying to see what other services they might be paying for and just seeing if you can jump in and help in there. So like for us, it was like CRM companies, like what CRMs would they use? I can jump on and do a live training, graphic designers, stuff like that. You can just jump in and do. Um, the podcast, I don't know if you've seen it, that podcast we've been posting, like I didn't think much of it, but it's this style content, like it's weird, it doesn't do much, but it gets shown to his audience. So like we just collab, just get people on a podcast, and it's just who would have the audience. And then we like it goes into their audience as well. So like could I get people on a podcast and this gets shown to both audiences, so I can kind of get people, I can get George's audience and he gets ours as well. As it has been working really well. So podcasts, collaborations, so like CRM companies or stuff that's not competition specific. So like maybe graphic designers, potentially if you can get away with it, like VA agencies and stuff like that. If you message them and you're like, hey, I want to do a live training for free for your clients. Would you want me to do that? You might be able to get onto in their groups and stuff and do trainings for them, as long as it's not like a conflict of interest. Like you get graphic designers for this, like graphic designers, stuff like that. I think it could work really well. Like VA companies, graphic designers, maybe education-based companies potentially. I think you could do it.
How much you make? Not asking for anything, but on an average, is it above 10K?
Yeah. It's about six GBP, so it's just over six figures a year.
So, okay. So, is it that if you have a team and you have all the places that you do make your content on your own, or people like you, would they have their team in general?
Yeah, so who are you trying to target? So like trying to find people like what kind of people would you try and find?
I'm finding life coaches, right? But just assuming since you're making above you're making six
Yeah.
figures per year, right? So do you have a team? Like, would my service like mine be beneficial if somebody's making 6K? Uh, not 6K,
Yeah,
six
no,
figures.
it's a really good question. Um, for sure, I think for
I'm
sure.
just trying to
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
what would objection of people like, you know, since you already have a team.
yeah. I
And
think if you're, in my opinion, if your offer and your guarantee, like offer and your promise is really bulletproof and strong, like it's way easy to communicate. And that's where what I think
and
money.
what would be
Yeah,
the correct team members at that time? Like, I'm just imagining everyone has their setters, their ads, ad strategists or creative writers or content writers, right? And suppose I just say that I do it for a month while you're launching. So would what would be in your mind at that point?
I really think you can definitely do it. I think anyone would want to make more money, to be honest. So I think if your offer is geared towards, I will do it for you, but I'll also show you how you can incorporate launches. You've got like I think anyone would want, like if you can go in and be like, you're making 10K a month, I'll show you how you can add launches and make 25K a month in the next 6 months. It's a good offer, but you also then have 6 months to map out like the activation points and the steps. You can go, step one is this, step two we do this, step three we do this, and you can then you can even incentivize it. You can even like put a guarantee in place. Like if you make more money, like if you work with someone for 6 months and they do everything, there's no way they wouldn't make way much more money by just doing launches and working with you. So you can easily have a guarantee, which is like you double your investment, or like whatever's feasible, but then it's really appealing as well.
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Um, yeah, that's kind of just throwing stuff over. I might just need to jump on another call, but if there's anything else at all, just drop me a message on WhatsApp, and hope um this saves you a lot of time from stuff I've done over the years as well.
It was really helpful. So
Um,
you only work with fitness coaches?
yeah, the one core message core offer is just personal trainers. We help them more. We help personal trainers get more clients, online clients.
Uh,
That's the only thing we speak
have
about.
you trained any business coaches or, any sorts of people like me?
Yeah, so a few like business kind of like graphic designers transitioning, like there's probably a few testimonials and stuff, career coaches and stuff like that. But it's a really exciting field you're in, because it's so it's all the stuff I've seen, all the kind of mistakes I've made. So I think you can really fast track things here for sure.
So it looks like you have to jump in another call, but if you could send me any of the, programs you have, you have it in your website there?
I haven't got a website. It all goes to Instagram at the moment, and Instagram and YouTube for the podcast.
Okay.
What kind of help were you looking for? What kind of programs, like
So,
one-to-one help, were you looking for?
not exactly a program, but I really loved the perspective that you just gave me. So do you just do mentoring sessions like, this was free, I assume, right? So, if we could just cash in and you could just charge for the hour and give me perspectives like this, if you have any sorts of like
Cool.
that thing.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I think we can definitely really move things forward, and I definitely think for you, there's so much potential with it, because I think the issues at the moment you'd come into, if we just need to tidy up, is the issue would come up in the moment is like you might get you probably will get clients through, but the offer's not clear enough. It's time saving. I think I've not really met too many business owners that are like more motivated by saving time. So if we can clear this up, it'll move forward a lot quicker. Um, I'll send you what I can do, even if that's easy. We can jump on a I'll drop a few ideas. I'll have a think and just see if I can actually. I just want to make sure I can actually genuinely be helpful, and if I can,
Yes,
I'll run you through some ideas.
that would be because I just came out of a long programs and I don't want to get into, complete program. But I really love the perspective that you have and your experience, of course. So instead of full program, maybe once in every 15 days or a month, I could just book a call, session, and we could just talk and uh, just let me know your prices for the session. Maybe we could.
Okay. Yeah, amazing. With our clients, we really want to keep it like very personal, very one-to-one, just to make sure we can get things help with fines. But yeah, I'll have a think. I'll just see where you're at and see what I think would be most useful, and I'll let you know. Um, I'll have a think. I'll have a few ideas, but just want to make sure like it work for your business. Um, and yeah, we can pick it up. I can maybe drop you a message on WhatsApp and see what we can do.
All right, that sounds good.
Cool, no
Thank
problem. If there's anything else, you've got my number, so just feel free to drop me a message.
All right, thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too. Bye.